When I was young, I had this overwhelming desire to create a miniature world for miniature creatures. The closest I could get was playing with Legos and like making a town for imaginary townspeople. But then I started playing video games. And from an early age, there was one commonality between all my favorite games: the ability to create worlds. I remember playing The Sims and I was obsessed with making houses. I wasn't even playing the game. I was like, you get a house, you get a house. Not you. My favorite Sims game was the Castaway on the Wii. How about you? Then along came Minecraft and my life changed. I was spending every weekend from school mining, cutting down trees, just so that I could build the perfect base for me and my friends and the villagers that live with us. Shout out Dimitri. There was always a Dimitri in my world. And fun fact, one of my first ever viral videos on TikTok was actually a Minecraft tutorial. To this day, I think I still have people following me from that, and then they're probably wondering what happened. And then I found Terraria, where you literally have to make the perfect house for each NPC. Stardew Valley, where my favorite part was decorating the farm. And Valheim. I'm not even gonna describe Valheim, you should just play it. It's like technically not done, but it's already, I think, my favorite game after Minecraft. And I've played my fair share of City Skyline, but it always felt too big. I think the inner child in me was begging for something more miniature. And so I thought I'm gonna use my recently acquired knowledge of game development to finally create my miniature world for miniature creatures. Anyways, the first thing I did was brainstorm some ideas in my ugly sketchbook. I think everybody needs like an ugly sketchbook or notebook. And it's not that the sketchbook itself is ugly, it's that you can write anything and draw anything, and even if it's ugly, it's fine. That's the whole point of it. Anyways, I got to the idea of making a community of pixies that live inside a hollow tree. I think I was slightly inspired by the Tinkerbell movies, and so I decided to rewatch it and I cried so many times. Anyways, after that, I decided to spend some time to actually think of a name for the town or the game. And usually I think of this in the end, but I was just so overwhelmed with ideas that I found one pretty quickly, and it is Hollow Hearth. It's a mix of the word hollow, which is inspired by the fact that they live in hollow tree, and hearth, which can sometimes mean home or like the cozy area near a fireplace. And I just felt like the mix of those two words give off that like cozy kind of fantasy feel I was going for. Then I wanted to draw the pixies. The reason why I wanted to draw this first was to make sure that I was building the world based off of the size of the pixies, because it's supposed to feel miniature, but it's like miniature in relation with the pixies. And this is what I came up with. The size is about like 26 by 26 pixels. And using my usual Resurrect 64 palette from Low Spec, shout out, I chose this like lime green color for the body and a cute purple for the wings. Ideally, if and when I do make this into a full game, I'd like it to be a little bit more customizable, but for now it works and I think the colors are really cute. And then I spent some more time creating the side view, the 3/4 view, and the back view. It's almost an 8-directional movement sprite sheet, but I didn't want to do the 3/4 back view. I don't know, I didn't feel like it. Okay. And because I was overexcited, I ended up making idle animations for all of them, and this is what it looks like. Next, I tackled the tree. I first wrote down what I think a tree that could house a bunch of pixies would need, and I came to the conclusion of 4 floors. The first floor is like a tavern slash bar area where all the pixies can hang out and mingle and dance. And the second is a cozy library where everybody could read, study, maybe even do some work. The third floor is where all the pixies sleep, so maybe like some bunk beds, some hammocks. And the fourth floor, aka the top floor, is going to be where the leader resides. After deciding all that, I started working on the outside of the tree. At first, I tried to stick with the Resurrect 64 palette, but I just felt like it lacked a little bit of depth and pizzazz for what I wanted the bark to look like. So I just expanded the palette a little bit. I added some more colors, but I tried to make it fit the Resurrect 64 palette. But here it is on the screen if any of you wanna, I don't know, use it. And I had this idea that like outside the roots are kind of crazy, kind of unkept. So the pixies love playing around them. And so I made this one little pixie who tied a swing to it and is just swinging, relaxing, chilling. Literally what I strive to be. So it took me about 4 hours to create one side of the outside. And for now, I just decided to copy paste it for the other side because I really want to start working on the inside. But for now, I think it's good enough. In the future, I'll definitely make its own side just so it won't look so mirrored. But before I start working on the inside, I decided to add some shrubbery, some rocks, some mushrooms, and I don't know, I just scattered it willy-nilly for now because I think I'll actually meticulously place them when I import everything into Godot. Okay, working on the inside was so much fun. So the first thing I did was I wanted to make the floor look like the rings inside of a tree. So this is what it looks like. And then I wanted to make a little area where a band of pixies could perform. And I thought having a mushroom as a stage would be super cute. So I started working on that, but I ended up finishing it in the end, but this is kind of what I had. And then I started working on a bar area where the pixies could get a little drink. And I had the idea of, instead of having barrels, I would use acorns. And I had like a flower petal that could hold some water, or I don't know, maybe something that's not just water, but it's basically giving like a punch bowl, and I thought that was kind of cute. And then I added the surrounding areas where the other pixies could hang out and mingle. And then I continued working on the band area as well. And then just to fill out the walls, I added this like door. I don't really know where it goes just yet, but I like the idea that, you know, there are more areas in the tree than what you can see. And voila! The decoration and furniture and all that is done for the first floor. And oh my god, I love these like yellow little mushroom lights. Like, I kind of wish I had that IRL. Okay, and here's the little sad fact for today. So all of this already took 2 weeks. I've just been having a very busy month of music. Speaking of music, you can check out my music. I am Stephanie Poetri. I make fun pop music. But yeah, because of that, it took so long to just make one floor, and I really wanted to put a video out not too long after my last one. So I decided I'm just gonna finish the first floor and I'm gonna slap a work in progress sign in the game. And I am planning to continue finishing the next couple of floors for the next video. But yeah. And then I continued working on some animation. I made some animation for the bandmates and some animation of like the water dropping into the punch bowl. Water. Oh, and I also made some walking, or I guess flying animations for the player character. Next, it was time for me to import everything into Godot. The first thing I did was set up the player character. I used animation trees to help me set up the 6 directional movement. It's technically an 8 directional movement without the 3/4 back view. But yeah, I only made 6 directions. So. And here is our little pixie player. Then it was time to export everything into their respective layers. Bam, bam, bam. Nice. And then I added a polygon collider just to make sure the player doesn't decide to run off into the void. Place the bands with their animation. This part is so cute. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Like, I want them to perform at my wedding, you know? And then I added the NPCs with their idle animation and scattered them around. I wanted to give off like a stuffy, kind of cramped feeling, and it's because I want to play around with like overpopulation. I'm gonna explain to you why later, but yeah. And then I added the flickering lights, and I think that was like the cherry on top for sure. And for the outside, I added the shrubbery and the bushes. I also added an area 2D to the shrubs so that if your player character comes near it, it like shakes a little. And I also added a small animation for all of it to sway in the wind. I originally had a different way I did it, where I made the wind like a line that like goes through the screen, but it looked kind of ugly. So instead I just randomized the swaying, and yeah, I think it looked way better. And at this point, the main world was basically done. But it's not really a Mini-Mino game if there's no Mini-Mino music. And then I put it into the game, and when I pressed play, I got so emotional because everything just came together and I was like kind of immersed even though it's not done. But I just thought, whoa, like I did it. I finally made a little miniature world for little miniature creatures. But yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, after working on this for so long, I've created a bond with Hollow Hearth. and I think it may be my first full game as a game developer. Like, I ended up thinking of so many gameplay ideas and story ideas, and remember when I mentioned overpopulation? I thought that that would be a cool theme to tackle. And yeah, if you guys want to hear me talk a little bit more about my ideas for Hollow Hearth, please comment down below. Oh, and I also made a title screen with like a title, and it's kind of ugly. I don't really like it, but I feel like it's good enough, and I don't really want to spend more time finessing because I really want to get this video out to you, and I also want to make sure that you get to play it. So if you're interested in hopping in and flying around, I actually already uploaded this build on my itch.io, link in the description. And yeah, if you don't want to do that, that's okay, because now I'm gonna show you footage of me walking around Hollow Hearth. Work in progress. Yo, it's so cute, right? I'm gonna say it, yeah, I am proud of myself. What are you gonna do about it? And I can't wait to work on it some more. I have so many cool ideas and concepts, and it's all brewing up in my brain. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!